Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Right.
Thank you, sir.
So you have done your post-graduation and then preparing for civil services, or you have any experience also?
Yes,
Work?
sir.
Have you worked?
No, sir. I have been preparing. I have completed my post-graduation in 2018, and since then I have been preparing for the civil service.
For the last 6 years?
Yes, sir. Last 5 years.
Okay. You have chosen political science.
Yes, sir.
It's a very vast area. I'm giving you a choice. Should I ask you on Western political thinkers, Indian political thinkers, Indian government and politics, international relation theory, or international relation? 5-6 areas I'm giving you. I'll ask you where you want to be comfortable, or all is fine with you.
Sir, I have a basic idea of all the topics, basically. But recently, the international relation, the international politics is in news also. So I think that area would be okay if we discuss on.
What is the significance of Westphalia Treaty?
So the Westphalian Treaty that came into existence before the World War I, that basically it talked about.
Westphalia Treaty is before World War I. It is 300 years back.
1600s.
1648.
Yes, sir. From then the establishment.
You got it confused with Versailles Treaty.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Am
sir.
I right?
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So basically, sir, if you talk about international politics, there have been different phases of the international relation, how it has proceeded. Earlier, it was known as the states in international politics are in a billiard ball model style, which are continuously colliding. There is no central government, etc. However, with the Westphalian Treaty, if we talk about that, in the 1600s when it came, the recognition of international states as sovereign entity was being recognized.
That's right. I'm getting you.
Yes, sir.
I'm getting you. Now, it is said that after Second World War, the world order was defined by a multilateral order.
Yes, sir.
What do you mean by the term a multilateral order? That is the feature of, say, post-World War world.
So basically it talks about a central world government, a central authority that looks after the international relation as a whole, where the countries are governed by a single based rule order. That was basically established through United Nations as an organization, where independent or the sovereign nations, they became a part of that, and subsequently several aspects were taken into consideration, talking about decolonization, human rights, etc. The war related treaties, etc. They were brought into picture so as to have a rule based order.
Now, India is insisting on a term called reformed multilateralism.
Yes, sir.
What does it imply? And why you have to reform the multilateral system?
So basically when multilateral order came into existence, at that time we had a very different geopolitical scenario. The world politics were dominated by few international players like USA, USSR back then. And in these 75 years, if we see, or 80 years, a lot of changes have taken place. The countries which were the post-colonial states, they are now coming at the forefront. They also hold huge population. They must be represented in those organizations. Because of that, India has been advocating the concerns, especially for the global south, and that calls for reform in the multilateral world order.
Mm-hmm. All right. Now, coming to India-China border, a term is being used that grey zone is called grey zone. Have you heard about the grey zone areas in the border towns, border line of actual control?
So in my understanding, as far as I understand, these are zones that are not properly surveillance, or there is not proper demarcation because of the geographical terrain, which is very difficult in these regions. Mm-hmm. So according to my limited knowledge, this is the grey zone.
No, your limited knowledge is good, but point is that why there is focus on this term, what's happening?
So because we know that India-China do not have a agreed international border as of such, and Chinese have always been very aggressive and they have been expanding towards the territories of India. So that has become a major cause of concern, because of which India has started infrastructure building in those regions also, and has also increased deployment of its forces so as to make sure that China does not cross those boundaries and take up the territories of India.
What do you know about the Goldie Bag Road? Have you heard about it?
Yes, sir, the road that was being synthesized by, it was being constructed by Indian forces only, and that has basically led to the during the Galwan clash, that was one of the major reason for the clash that took place.
All right. What's happening in Maldives? Even today something has come which is not a very happy news for India. Have you read today's paper?
Yes, sir.
What is it?
So basically, with the change in regime in Maldives, India and Maldives relations have been strained. First was the Maldivian government has asked the Indian military forces to be sent back to India or removed from the Maldivian island. Apart from that, but recently the government has agreed to this demand and our military personnel were replaced by the civilians there. However, today, I think yesterday what happened is Maldivian government signed a military pact with China. First was this. Second, I think a statement has been said that Maldivian government will not accept Indians in uniformed or ununiformed in any form of, they do not want any Indians in the Maldivian island.
It's bad news for India?
Yes, sir, because India has been trying to protect its basically the coastline, that is the Indian Ocean region, in which the China incursion has been increasing in the past decade, as we have seen through its string of pearls policy. Once if China gains a base in Maldives, it will become much more matter of concern for India because it is close to the island of Lakshadweep that India is having, and as India has planned to have its own military base in Lakshadweep recently, Minicoy Island where we are talking about, so this can further enhance the confrontation between the two armies.
How do we tackle this adverse situation in Maldives?
So I think India's stand, as India agreed to Maldivian demand to remove the military personnel as it was their cause of concern and replace them with civilian, is one of a very good move that basically talks about India's benevolent approach towards Maldives. This is a right step. Apart from that, I think dialogue and the dialogue mechanism between the two nations could only bring a solution which is bilaterally negotiated, I think, at this moment.
Fair enough.
Okay. So you have been a group leader for Good Out of Waste camp.
Yes, sir.
So what was the outcome of that Good Out of Waste?
So basically in this camp what we did was the academic waste that was produced at the end of academic year, like the copies or used pens, etc. they were being recycled to create artifacts. Like from pens we used to create pen stands, wall hangings and all, and the papers were used to create wall art, etc. So that was there.
So that was the end of it, or is it still continuing?
So in my school when I was there, till that 12th standard, till then it was still there. However, I am not aware about the current situation there.
And which are the specific schemes being promoted by the government of India in this regard, say for promoting waste to energy or waste to wealth?
Yes, sir. Waste to wealth plans have been in news in which government is trying to basically recycle the organic waste from which energy can be produced and also can be produced at the same time, which can be used as an organic manures on the field.
But what is your view to what extent can we keep recycling? Is there a limit to it, or is it an endless process?
So if we talk about the waste generation, the huge population that we have, and also with advancement of the way of living we are watching, the waste generation is limitless, it's endless. However, talking about the recycling of waste, that has to be properly and well managed, because first thing that has to be done is we need to segregate the waste that can be recycled and that cannot be recycled, and at the first stage. Second that can be done is the recycled waste can be taken up for, like the waste to wealth plant is there, for composting is there. Recently there have also been news about using the plastic waste which is non-biodegradable in construction of roads, etc. That is also a very good move. Now this can at a larger level help us tackle the problem of open waste that further causes health related issues.
But the view is being advanced that unless you start refusing, recycling is but refuse is the ultimate resolution.
Okay.
Unless you start refusing the waste which cannot be recycled,
Okay.
there will be no end to it. So do you subscribe to it, or do you feel that with advancements in science and technology, this cycle can be continued endlessly?
So if we talk about this, then there is limit to everything. If endless waste is being generated, there will be a stage where its recycling will not be possible and it will ultimately get accumulated only. So I think this is a really good concept to refuse at the first place and try and utilize maximum what we already have at home instead of getting it.
So are you aware of recent development whereby waste has been converted into gold?
No sir, I'm sorry, I'm not aware about that.
Okay. Now, what are the major advancements in biochemistry? Like we know about this DNA or the polymerase reaction. But beyond that, are there any recent advancements?
So there has been a focus on the use of, first is the mRNA vaccines that are going on, that are in news, where we are talking about that. Second thing, I think the genetically modified organisms or genetically modified plants are also in news. That is also an advancement of biotechnology. Apart from that, the third important thing is treatment, specifically the cancer therapy, where we are talking about use of the cancer therapy, we are talking about use of bone marrow cells, the CAR T cell therapy that was there recently in news, or also use of nanomissile in targeted drug delivery. That is also an advancement that we are approaching towards.
And can you recall what is the Namami Gange mission about?
So Namami Gange mission basically deals with the rejuvenation of river Ganga and its cleaning. And first, there are four most important pillars of this program. First is an unobstructed flow. Second is the clean river Ganga, that talks about the continuous flow of the river. It talks about its geological entity and its ecological entity that has to be preserved so as to ensure the normal ecological flow of river Ganga.
So, can you recall what are the specific parameters like the biochemical oxygen demand or
Yes,
the
sir.
dissolved oxygen?
Yes, sir. There are three components through which we measure the river purity. First is the dissolved oxygen. This basically talks about that measures the amount of organisms that are present in the river water. Second thing is the biological
So how high are these parameters?
So the more is the dissolved oxygen, the more better is the quality of river. More is the higher is the biological
Like,
oxygen.
are you aware in the river Ganga what is the extent of these pollutants?
No, sir, I'm
You're
sorry.
not aware,
I'm not
fine.
aware.
What is the national policy on biofuels?
So the focus has been on increasing the blending of biofuels with the petroleum that we are using. The target has been to increase it up to 25% by coming 2025, so as to decrease the pollution that is being caused by the normal fuel that we use in our daily life.
Okay. And lastly, can you tell us something about these global capability centers? There is a lot of talk about that,
Sorry,
like
sir.
in the context of India's service exports.
Some exact global capability centers I'm not aware
Okay,
about
fine.
that.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Shakti Dubey.
Yes, sir.
Okay. The surname Dubey, Chaube,
Yes.
what does it signify?
So these are basically the titles of that is associated.
Chaturvedi.
Yes, sir. These are basically titles that have been taken up in the Brahmin caste in Uttar Pradesh specifically. So this is what I'm aware about.
Or they know about two Vedas or four Vedas, Chaube,
Okay.
something
Okay.
like
Sir.
that.
Yes,
No,
sir.
I'm
Then the
guessing.
name maybe okay, sir. Then I'm not aware about that, but
Okay. Recently, Ramlala temple was there and lot of publicity was done. A section of people said that it was a celebration of civilizational resurgence. And the opposing group said it was the celebration of civilizational decay. What is your view in this?
so if you look at the inauguration of the Ram temple, I would not say that it is an example of civilizational decay, because first thing, India has been known for its rich culture and history, and religion being one of them. Ayodhya is considered to be one of the birthplace of Lord Ram. So if you look at from one perspective, it is this. Second, if you look at the inauguration of Ram temple will also lead to boost in the economy in the region. With the recently development of the international airport, we have seen increase in the number of tourists since the day of inauguration. It will give employment to the local artisans that are there,
Okay,
etc.
okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, you have written here dissertation work on nanoparticle.
Yes, sir.
When a particle qualifies to be called as nano?
When it is in the range of 1 to 100 into 10 to the power minus 9 meters.
9 meters.
Yes, sir.
How do you view this?
So the size can be measured.
microscopic. Can it be viewed by microscope?
So in microscope, in my opinion, the 10 to the power minus 6 meter is the minimum through which
Yes.
we can view.
Then-
There are So calorimeter is a device in which size and particles, the features of particles can be understood.
Can DNA, since you have done biochemistry,
Yes, sir.
can DNA survive outside body, living body?
So there are example of genetic material surviving independently that are known as prions. These are a category of viruses. These are nucleic acid that can survive independently outside the living host. However, they do not multiply outside. Once they get a living host inside the body, they get activated.
No, human DNA, after I am dead, how long my DNA can survive? And what happens to its information that is embedded there?
So in my opinion, the human DNA after the body is dead can survive up to some time, but I am not aware about the exact time limit about that.
Okay. Name 4 women chief ministers
So the
of
current,
India, the current or past.
so current minister is Mamata Banerjee. She is there in West Chief Minister of West Bengal. Second has been Mayawati, who is an ex Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh. Sir, only 2 I have. Jayalalitha, she was there.
Have you heard the name of Sucheta Pranani?
Yes, sir, I have heard her name. She was
First
there in
CM
of Uttar
independent
Pradesh.
India, yeah, UP.
Uttar Pradesh, yes, sir.
Okay. Now, nowadays we are talking a lot about brain chips.
Brain
that,
chips, yes, sir.
Elon Musk has also said that, and he has experimented also, I think on experimental basis, he has already fixed a chip.
Yes, sir.
So, how does it going to, is it related to neuron somewhere?
Yes, sir, the Neuralink that has been experimented recently, it talks about inserting a chip. This is going to help especially people who are differently abled, people so that they can control devices with their thoughts. So this is one of the advancement. Since it is at the nascent stage, we can say that yes, it is a very welcome move. However, like any other digital technology, it has its own setbacks that are more grave than the benefits that it is going to provide. So I think it has to be properly implemented, properly regulated before it is brought into practice.
What happens if it is hacked?
Hacked, yes, sir. So that a person will not be able to perform independent activities once if it is hacked or if their data is being stolen. So that is going to be a matter of concern.
So it is general belief that biochemically speaking, neurons are fixed once you are born,
Yes, sir.
and it does not grow like other organs or cells. Is it true, or it can be grown?
So artificially it can be grown, but in the human brain, as it is being decided by the birth, the number of neurons are fixed. They may extend in length with the age, but they do not increase in number. That is why damage to brain cells is a matter of concern.
What is telomeres?
So these are, as I can recall, these are small segments in the DNA. These are repeated segments that are there. Exact function I am not able to recall just now, sir.
So with age, what happens to telomeres?
Sorry, sir, I need to read about that. I am not able to recall.
It gets shortened,
Shortened. Okay.
and that is the indication that you are going to be dead within 10 years or 15 years if particular size is. Anyway, have you visited any national parks or sanctuary?
No, sir, not as of now.
Not yet.
Yes.
Okay. Nowadays we talk a lot about climate change, and it is perceptible also. As an individual, what do you do to mitigate the climate change?
So in my
global warming?
So in my personal capacity?
Yes.
So in my personal capacity, I perform certain activities, like for example, first I prefer using metro instead of traveling through my own private car. This is the minimum I can do, or walking for short distances instead of taking. Second thing that I ensure is that when my waste at my home is being created, we segregate it properly as dry and wet waste. That is being so that it is properly segregated at the source. Third thing is, whenever I go to the market with my family or something, we prefer carrying the carry bags from our home instead of taking plastic bags again when we are in the market. So these are some of the steps that I.
And what is your food habit? Will you make any change in your food habit?
So with since my food, basically I have vegetarian diet since I'm a vegetarian, but with advent we are witnessing that climate change has impacted the growth of crops, etc. also, and there has been focus on some nutrient.
Whether non-vegetarian leaves more carbon footprints or vegetarian?
Sir, the non-vegetarian food is considered to leave a more major carbon footprints.
What is the global average carbon footprints? Global average.
So
Carbon footprints per person, per capita.
Sorry sir, I'm not aware about the data exactly.
4 tons.
4 tons.
And what it should be to achieve our goal of not crossing 2 degrees.
So I'm not aware about that.
Okay. Sir, up.
Shakti,
Yes sir.
and your email is Shiv Shakti.
Yes sir.
Your name is Shakti otherwise.
Yes.
Because Shakti comes twice.
Yes.
Shiv Shakti something and then Shakti.
Yes.
Very good. Shakti is square. Tell me, I want my daughter educated in Prayagraj. There is St. Mary's
Yes sir.
College and there is CrossFit. Now you tell me where should I go with the reasons. St. Mary's, certainly you have studied there. Tell me the broad qualities, how it is different from CrossFit.
Sir, the second school that you're naming?
CrossFit you do know?
No sir, I'm not aware about.
Okay, then St. Mary's only.
Sir, because I would like to
Maybe I am pronouncing it wrong. CrossFit College. Kamala Babuna has studied there.
Sir, I'm not aware about
Okay.
that. I'm aware about St. Mary's.
Tell me, why should I put my daughter there? It's a girls' school. It's not co-ed. So many missionary values. Not background. Tell me.
So if we look at the curriculum, the way of teaching method that was adopted in our school has benefited me a lot personally. For example, they were on every Saturdays, we had a fixed sports day period that was allotted so as to inculcate the physical education in the child. Second thing, we had regular programs that were conducted in which group leaders were appointed. They were given charge of the entire team where they got a leadership opportunity there at a very young age. Third, we had various creative writing basically courses or competitions that were going on. So these are basically important to ensure the extracurricular development of the child apart from academics. Now moving on to academics, in our school we have witnessed that we had regular classes, we hardly had any missed classes, regular classes were there, and not just the courses from the course book, we also had additional classes where in the 11th 12th specifically where the questions related to even JEE level or for NEET PMT students that were being also solved and taught in class that have helped student and better be equipped with education in that class.
Shakti, primarily this is what exactly you narrated. Most of the time the focus is on education,
Yes.
then extracurricular activity, but life outside school, life in the real sense is much beyond that.
Yes, sir.
What do you have to say in terms of co-education system?
So in my opinion, co-education is a much more better way of educating the child. Because if we see the world, India or any world in space and eternity, there we do not see a separate location for girls or for boys. We have to always mingle with them and go. This will increase the interaction between people. This will also lead to exchange of views about each other's sensitivity, like what is a matter of concern for a girl or for a boy.
Because with gender sensitivity, we talk about separate, boys separate, and half the time they don't, both
Yes.
of them don't understand.
Yes.
I get you. What is Tagore in Tagore Town? You have mentioned Tagore Town. What is Tagore?
So it is named after Rabindranath.
When was it Tagore Town was established?
So it was exact date I'm not aware, but
I'm not talking date.
it was established in British India only. Since then it has been named
1909.
as. Okay.
Okay. And I'm very intrigued to know about Mama Bhanja Talab. What is it? Do you know something about it?
Yes, sir. Basically, it is a very unfortunate incident. But
Okay,
Mama,
yeah.
okay, so Mama, there was a Mama and Bhanja as a relation we talk about.
yeah,
So
yeah.
Mama Bhanja, they lived there together and they had a pond around. But due to an unfortunate incident, they were murdered. So in their memory, the place has been named as the Mama Bhanja Talab.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. The area or the land that we say, it would belonged to them. It was beside a pond. That was.
You get IAs, okay, God's blessings, you're deferred, you get your cadre, you get your posting, which is generally UP they don't give, the hometown posting.
Yes, sir.
What are you, and the elections times are here, what are the main responsibility of, what's the main responsibility of collector, DM? Who is the district electoral officer?
So the district collector officer, he looks
No,
after.
who is district electoral officer?
So it's an Indian Administrative Service officer who has been posted there. The main.
I mean, is there separate collector and separate district electoral officers?
The district electoral officers are being appointed for the purpose of during the election. These are district magistrates only. They are being given the role of
Yes.
electoral
Not
officer.
only what are the if there is a electoral rules have to be made. What are the main activities of a district electoral officer?
So they have to first. I think they have to ensure the setting up of proper electoral booths in their district, where the setup has to be proper, and they also ensure that maximum through advertisement or campaigns or making people aware to exercise their right to vote. So they are also being appointed as returning officers who basically look after the entire how the elections have been conducted at the district level.
Shakti, yes, all these are post or during the election, but many times the complaint comes out about the rules electoral. They are not. Some names are missing. Some have been deleted. The work starts from there.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, some collectors have been very famous in adhering to. Suppose there are 3-4 rallies. Mr. X is PM. He is to address in Lahore.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Y is or Mr. or Miss Y is from one of the opposition parties. They have to they have to also address the election rally. Now tell me, how would you work out the coordination?
So for in such conditions, I think first having a fixed time for both of them, the different time for both of them has to be ensured so that it can be properly managed and coordinated. Like the rally time for the Prime Minister and for the opposition leader, they have to be fixed at different times. We can convey them that will be much more convenient for the administration. Second, once the rally has to be started, there has to be taken care of first about the traffic has to be taken care of so as to ensure that any emergency services are not debarred. Second, these can be done in an open or a very open field like area so that the main city or the main daily functions are not being blocked. Second thing, the police department that is there at work, leaving the important personnel we have to ensure that the important personnel are there at the police station so that if there is any emergency, the response can be taken by them. After that, we can ensure security measures by proper placing of the police personnel at equal distance. We can also have CCTV cameras that can be installed so as to monitor it.
Shakti, this is all the nitty-gritty, but how do you visualize? The first thing is the DM as district electoral officer and the SP of the city, they have to be
collaborate
together.
Yes,
not
yes.
at the down bandobast, they will come once the instructions come. Not in a situation comes, generally they are given the fixed time.
Okay. Yes, sir.
The PM is there
Yes, sir.
to address the rally, and as per your guidelines, you have conveyed to the political party which represents that the meeting has to be finished by 7 p.m. because it may get dark, it will be difficult for people to go, and you realize speeches are going on and on. Then what do you do?
So in such condition, I think first we can convey the matter beforehand that the meeting has to.
No, you have conveyed. The last time it is 7 p.m. Generally, that is the practice in UP.
So by 6:30, I think one message can be sent to the.
Whom you will send? Who, suppose you talk to the Prime Minister represents party Y, and you what is the best way to convey to the party, and then and Prime Minister is speaking.
So we can convey it beforehand to we can give a reminder to the party workers who are there along with the Prime Minister, so that they can convey it to him on stage.
I'm sure you will work out. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
One of your hobbies is quotes. What kind of quotes you collect?
So I basically write motivational quotes.
You write or you collect?
So I write quotes.
You write quotes.
Yes.
You are not collecting the already said quotes.
So I read quotes also. I collect them also, some of the favorite quotes that I like, and similarly drawing inspiration from them.
You make your own quotes also.
Yes.
It's clear to me now. Let me probe you on some well said quotes of some great thinkers.
Yes.
Who said, "I think, therefore I am." Have you heard about it?
Yes, sir, I've heard about it. But author I'm not aware about.
You know the meaning? What does it mean?
Yes, the meaning I know, author I'm not aware about.
Descartes. René Descartes, who was a French philosopher.
Okay, okay, sir. So I explain the meaning of this. Sir, this is basically similar to the Buddha's quote, as he said, "You think what you become." So it basically talks about the person's understanding of his own existence. It basically says that what you assume of yourself is what is the limit you set for yourself, and that is how much you work, and that is how much you can prove your existence. So he says that if I think I can do this, it is also said that you're halfway already done if you start believing on yourself. So this quote is about self-belief, wisdom, introspecting and understanding one's own ability.
Fair enough, fair enough, fair enough. Virtue is knowledge. Who said it? You're a student of political
Yes, sir.
science.
Yes, sir. So if I'm not wrong, I think Aristotle.
Socrates.
Socrates. Sorry, sir. So basically,
And unexamined life is not worth living.
yes, sir. This is also from Socrates, from his theory of knowledge, when he talks about it.
Explain this one.
Okay. So it basically talks about taking reckless decisions without thinking in life leads us nowhere. So basically it talks about the importance of introspection, or similarly knowing one's own self, where he says an unexamined life means you keep on doing anything just for sake of doing, takes us nowhere. We should examine our steps. We should properly have to understand our own capacity before we decide for something. So steps should be properly chosen so that we have a proper destination in the long run. We can clearly understand that.
Okay, fine. Just tell me two of your favorite quotes that you have made.
My favorite quotes. So first that I wrote was, cracks are the real weakness of those balls, and also cracks were the reason light entered within.
Explain.
This basically talks about looking at the positive side, that is even in the negative situations. It says that there is a wall which has a crack. If we look at it from one angle, it will be seen as its weakness, that the wall may collapse. But from the other side, if you see at it, you will understand that this is the reason why the light is entering within the room and the room is lit up. So it talks about the silver lining. So this was the quote that I've written.
Second one.
Blessings are intended to be your rewards, while deeds are still the cause.
Matlab?
So basically it talks about that blessings means what we have basically think of. If we achieve that, we consider it as a blessing. So in that respect only I wrote that blessings are the reward, in the end reward, but ultimately one has to work hard, one has to do the deed in order to get the blessings.
Wonderful. It's over now, Shakti. You can go now. We'll call you back.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sir.
When is your interview?
It's the 14th of March.
फर्स्ट टाइम जा रही है यूपीएससी
Yes.
एंड मेंस कितनी बार लिखा है?
It's the first time only.
अच्छा इसी बार सारा हो गया?
हाँ, prelims was.
दिल्ली में रुके हो प्रिपरेशन कहाँ से कर रहे हो?
Yes, sir. अभी December में I came here.
Otherwise you were preparing back from home.
Allahabad, yes, Prayagraj.
Pretty good. You are a good candidate for interview. You will
Thank
do
you,
very
sir.
well. You must have enjoyed also.
Yes,
you
sir.
were
The
able to
conversation was.
connect with us,
Yes, sir.
and it was a very good quality interview. So UPSC will be almost on the similar terms. Like that.
Allahabad में are there no such institutes?
No, sir. Offline mocks are mostly conducted here only in Delhi. We don't have facilities in Allahabad.
अब कुछ चीज़ें इलाहाबाद के बारे में जान लीजिएगा, यूपी के इश्यूज डाल दीजिएगा,
हाँ,
हेल्थ, एजुकेशन.
Education, yes.
इलाहाबाद, which was used to be Cambridge of India, it has gone down. Why the civil services are so intake is so less?
Yes, sir. Yes.
And I also asked for the first time that since this is the election time, the role,
Yes, sir.
just go to the election commission website. What is the role of a district collector?
Okay.
And the example I was telling you, in the last election, there was a collector in Patna.
Okay.
He stopped. So what should be in their difficult situation? Again I was saying, how do you tell the Prime Minister, your time is over. But please, you will get all this in very well.
Let me guide you. See, you will get questions on biochemistry,
Yes.
its applications, and chemistry Nobel Prize for
Yes,
this time.
recently.
What was the work?
Yes, sir.
Do that. And then this writing poems of course definitely will come. And as I asked you about Socrates and other people, they will
yes,
ask you
the
their
quotes.
quotes also,
Yes,
rather
sir.
than your own quotes also. So quotes, you'll have to defend yourself. Read some of the famous quotes by these famous people
Yes, sir,
and all
yes,
that. 10-20 quotes you can read.
Yes, sir. I will.
They might ask you just tell me some good quotes from very good philosophers and thinkers. So 5-6 याद करो
हाँ, हाँ,
उसको.
sir. I will.
Political science में तो ठीक है, you know and you can handle everything. They might ask you about WTO, MC13 and India's stand
Yes, sir.
is most
Outcome.
recent. उसको India Maldives.
Yes, sir.
और मैंने पूछ ही लिया
हाँ,
उस
हाँ,
सब
sir.
आपके.
हाँ, हाँ.
Otherwise you are a very pleasant person for interview and you will leave a good impression on the board.
Thank you, sir.
You would, certainly.
Thank you so much.
No,
sir.
you were thorough with biochemistry, but whatever recent happenings are there in the field of vaccines,
Yes, sir.
that you go through.
Where may on the 15th or whatever it is, first half may second?
First half. Yes, sir.
Always.
That's all.
Okay.
See, basically it's an engagement with
Yeah,
the board for
exactly.
some time. Some conversation will take place and you did the conversations very well.
Very well.
So questions can be little here and there. तो क्या पूछ लेंगे? Simultaneous election पूछ लेंगे, political
sir.
governor का role पूछ लेंगे, सब पता है, इतना
Yes,
नहीं था
sir.
पढ़ के. तो वो कोई नई चीज़ नहीं है. एक दो चीज़ नई चीज़ पूछ लेंगे, no sir बोल दो.
Yes.
क्या? But main thing is how you are projecting your real personality. It's
Yes.
coming out very pleasantly and you look like a knowledgeable person. So you don't have to reshape the entire persona that you have. Just go with this persona, you will do well. आपको कुछ अगर कोई चीज़ हो पूछना तो पूछ सकते हैं.
No, sir. It was really enriching conversation. I got.
It
to
was
understand.
interesting for us also to
Yes.
hear from you, not
Yes,
only
yes.
you. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
You will do very well. You will get marks upwards of 190.
Thank you so
Okay.
much, sir. It was-
God bless you.